Having finished a particularly sort of dense and full of literary criticism type novel, I decided I would give my brain a little gentle rest. And picked up a book that I've been meaning to read for a long time, which is 6 Weeks by the Sea by Paula, Byrne, and that comes to us from HarperCollins. And it was a little treaty treat, and I'm very glad I picked it up. She describes 6 weeks that were spent by the sea when the Austens have moved out of their beloved home and have come to Devonshire, to a seaside resort for everybody's health, but you often feel particularly Jane's, to take the waters. And Ned, one of the many Austen brothers, has got leave from his naval position, and he has accompanied them to Sidmouth. And there is in this particular book a that very delightful relationship between Jane Austen and her brother. In this place, in Sidmouth, Jane will come across two very enchanting and interesting men, one of whom is a naval man like her brother and called Peter Parker, and the other one is Samuel Rose, who is a lawyer and is very erudite, and he's an abolitionist. And this is a novel based, at least the author, Paula Byrne herself, who's a biographer of Austen, and like any people who dare to tread on the same floorboards, if you know what I mean, as Jane Austen. She knows her life intimately and has done immense research. That sentence started somewhere and hasn't gone there, but she says that she's responding to the question, did Jane Austen actually ever fall in love? And we've all seen the films, and we've all heard of Lefroy, and we've all, well, it was seeing one of the films that actually made me put this book to the top of my pile, because I had read Jill Hornby's, which I am looking at as a kind of comparison in a way, her Miss Austen, which was I read a while ago. This one is very, very quaint, it's not charming, because Paula Byrne brings in a lot of history that you're not necessarily aware of, as in the sort of the connections with the overseas colonial efforts, and what the life might have been like if an heiress from Antigua or from a Jamaican island might have come back to the UK, and what would their reception have been. And there's a very small thread which is historically accurate and researched about how an illegitimate child of a reverend who we meet in the story has turned up, and how she is to be educated, and how she is to be how we can preserve her from being an outcast from society. It's a very lovely book. It's a balm. It's gently written, but you're always shored up with this feeling that the historical aspects of it are completely reliable. And it made me think back to Hornby's, and of course this is where this is completely unprepared in many ways. Sort of, which one did I like better? Did I like 6 Weeks by the Sea, or did I like Miss Austen by Jill Hornby? And I think one of the things that there were just differences. I think the 6 Weeks by the Sea brought in more historical references to the different things, to the two men that she was supposed to have had an interest in, and both of them will change her life. And why did those relationships come to nothing? One in Miss Austen, there's a much more troubled, a much more tormented kind of feel. There's much more reliance on the actual letters, and it's always from the point of view of Cassandra, who's looking back through letters, through her own memory of events, and telling us the story. So she tells the story through the eyes of Jane Austen's sister. I very, very much enjoyed it because it was an eye-opener into how that society worked, and not just the pleasantness of it, and there was a lot of pleasantness, but the way the sisters interact and look at their fortunes and misfortunes in life. But very lovely, few little palpitations, which we need. It's Austen, and writing about Austen, Byrne allows for the romantic to come through, true to Austen's sort of, happy ending business. But nothing is untrue in this. It's an absolute delight, a beautiful read, and very much one of those ones that you offer to yourself because you can't be doing with the heavy stuff. Highly recommend both. They both do something different, and both are absolutely worth your time. So that's it for me. If you have read either of those, give us a shout and tell me what you think. Did you like one more than the other? And otherwise, like and subscribe. And that's it. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.